Assalamu alaikum, I'm Abdul Haseeb, and today what concerns us is the e-myth. Now, within the first 5 years, 80% of the companies they fail. Even though all the information through technology or through other means, it's all available to them. It's all available to them. All the information required to succeed, it's all available to them. But still, within the first 5 years, why are 80% of the companies still failing? And now what concerned us earlier was the e-myth, or more precisely, it would be the entrepreneurial myth. That explains or that elaborates that the people who start a business, who start a work, are mostly entrepreneurs risking the capital to make a profit. But that is not true. That is not true. Most people today who are starting businesses, they're technicians. They're technicians. They aren't entrepreneurs. And technicians, they're good in one aspect of their passion, of their work, and then they're ready to make their own show. While they're ready to build their own show, their own business. Well, that is one point. But this understanding that when we have an understanding how a business works, right? How a technical business works, then we also misunderstand that this technical working works for this business. And this is not true. Because there's certainly more with every business that not every technician can understand. At the vital points. Not every technician. But that's okay. Our e-myth is still there. Our e-myth is still there. Now, when you start a business, there are always roles that you need to play. And precisely, there are only 3 roles. So when you start a business, you need to be working at 3 spots. The first one is the entrepreneur himself. And the second one is the manager. The third one is the technician who started it all. And you have to work at all of these 3 positions. And they are certainly different. They're designated to be differentiated, so their work is also different. The entrepreneur is there to have a vision, to risk things for the future, to make plans for the future. And then the manager is there to be motivated by that vision, to keep the employees, to keep the team motivated through the vision. To create consistency, as we could say. The manager is there for that reason. And the technician, the person who's the doer, who's the worker, obviously has the technical works that works for that business. Well, that rests on one point as well. The next point is something else. It's completely different. The e-myth, the entrepreneurial myth. What was that? It was a fantasy, it was a legend. Yes, it is. But we have to believe in it. We have to. Because when we start a business, we are never knowing what stages we'll suffer, we'll face, we'll achieve in the long run, in the journey. We never know. Never. And that's the bad part. That's where the technician is only the technician. The point over here is that you need to allow yourself a little break. You need to stop yourself from doing all that so much work, and you need to start that energy into something else. Something that we'd call managing the team, managing the people, managing the vision. Something which we would call planning for the future, something which we call risking. That is what you need to do. And when you start a business, there are only three stages to be very precise, which we go through. And the first is, as it sounds, infancy. It's the start. Through the infancy stage, it's all the business. The business grows how the boss, how the leader, how the entrepreneur visions how the boss wants the business to grow, not according to the needs, to the specific requirements that are needed for the business to succeed. The business does not operate in that way. Certainly does not. The point over here is that we make others with the most minimum amount of skills to take things to the highest level. Minimum amount of skills. And what do we require in that? We require a different approach. As I mentioned earlier, that within the first 5 years or maybe less, 80% of businesses are failing even though information is available to them. But why? It's because people are people dependent in their businesses. They're not system dependent. They're people dependent. And this is what they need to realize, that they need to make systems, they need to make procedures. And when they make them, only a minimum amount of skills are required from the people to operate things to the highest level. Only the minimum amount. Minimum. And we are the ones, the E-myth, the entrepreneurial procedures are the ones who make the systems. We need to make a consistent and effective early business. That's where our aim should be. We should not be concerned with the strength of our team. We should not be concerned by how everyone is going. We should be concerned how everyone will go, even though if we hire them. You need to start hiring managers. You need to. And since we were on the first stage, the stage also comes to an end. When the demand and supply, they're gone, or the quality drops. Maybe the quality drops and probably the demand and supply cannot be fulfilled. And infancy ends. It totally ends when you're moving to the next level. Obviously it had to end. You are going to the next level. And the second stage in a business is adolescence. Now, as I mentioned that you're upgrading yourself, you're going to a next level. That means that now this business, it has motivated itself. It is now going through the requirements it needs to succeed, but you're letting that business grow out on the cost of your comfort zone. What I mean through it is this, that you are making more visions, you're making more motivated visions for the managers than you would on your own accomplish. You're making the entrepreneurs motivate more managers to head towards the vision than you alone can do. You're making more managers, you need more managers, right? But you're putting more workload on them. You alone cannot have many subordinates. You're making managers have more subordinates. You're getting out of your comfort zone, and the technician has obviously a lot of work to do now than you alone can accomplish. The technician now has a lot of burden, he certainly does have, than you alone can achieve. The point over here is that if you can cope up with the ability to come out of your comfort zone, to cope up with this expansion, you move towards the last stage. That's the end. You mature, and the last stage is maturity. And when a business, it finally reaches its last stage, not in means of an end. Because the end is the first stage. In infancy, a person knows. Infancy ends either when the business succeeds or either when it fails. The first stage determines it all. But when you reach the last stage, you're done for. It's all done. That was required. You've allowed yourself the time to put into the visions, to put into the risks, to put into the managing, and to put into the work, the technical work. You have done that. And when I mean that your last stage, your business has matured, I mean that it has finally achieved a real purpose, a clear purpose to go through. And now your entrepreneurial aspect is very clear. You're hiring more managers to cope up with the team, to be motivated towards the vision. Over here, we're not learning to work for the business. We're learning to work on it. That's what we're differentiating the myth. The point is, and obviously you need to figure out exactly what your customers who you serve need and what you could do to put value, additional value to it. Who are they? The point is this, that who are they? Obviously their requirements would be adjusted accordingly to their personality, to who they are. But in the end, when your business does reach the last stage, when your business does mature, you can focus on creating an impact. You can fulfill the 3 roles